Hello guys, welcome to Speedfulfill channel. Today we have our friend Peter from Australia.
G'day, I'm Peter from Australia.
Welcome to our office, Peter. And could you please do a self-introduction and your journey in e-commerce?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Peter. I run a brand called Aussie Gear. I started this brand a couple of years ago and we've been successfully running and growing it alongside obviously Speedfulfill to handle all of the logistics. But prior to that, ran a marketing agency where I developed all the skills to do with advertising and running ads and everything online business essentially, which has tremendously helped grow the brand now. So yeah, that's a little bit of a brief introduction.
Yes, so the previous experience also
yes.
a base for your brand to grow.
Yeah, for sure. I think having some sort of experience prior to just jumping into e-commerce is very important. So,
yes.
Yeah, it helped.
That's nice. Yes. Okay, great. So how do you from the zero to now in terms of the brand building?
Okay. So how did we get to where we are today?
Yeah.
And what are we doing? Okay. So obviously success doesn't just happen overnight. There's a lot of learnings. So we've had issues with products, we've had issues with fulfillment, we've had issues with customer service, with marketing, with everything. We've had problems. So you have to persevere and you have to believe that what you are building is going to someday be successful, even if right now maybe it's not the most successful thing. But if you stay consistent and you persevere and you keep doing the right thing and you head in the right direction, over time it adds up and then you build a really big brand like what we have built today. But yeah, like our biggest challenges for a long time were fulfillment, because obviously fulfillment, you need good customer support if anything goes wrong or a parcel doesn't get delivered or it's late or something like that. You need a team that you can rely on, obviously. So that was a very big bottleneck for us to solve. And prior to Speedfulfill, it was difficult to solve that problem. But with you guys, obviously the customer service has been a lot better, and the experience has been a lot better. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So the key is to build a brand, you need to stay committed to what you want to do. Yes, for a brand and yes.
And you just need to understand that it's not going to work overnight. So my brand is now almost turning 3. And yeah, we're still scratching the surface of what we are going to accomplish this year and then next year. But you just have to stay consistent. And I think too many people give up too soon. They think that it's not working and I'm not making money. Then they give up.
Yeah.
But if you just persevere for 6 months, then you will make it work.
Yeah, so everyone should know where they want to go.
Yeah.
They have
a goal.
Have to go and have their own blueprints. I can say yes. Yes, to go. Yeah, that's great.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so you just mentioned that there are so many challenges you've met when you are building your brands. Among those challenges, and what is the biggest one you have met in when you are growing your store?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it is firstly important to note the difference between a proper brand and drop shipping, which is what a lot of people, they just think that everyone's a drop shipper and everyone just copies a product. I run a proper brand. So we developed products essentially from the ground up and made those products now as good as what they can be. But the biggest issue that we had was the product quality not being, as good as what it should have been, which then led to product breakages. So in my industry, product quality is so important because people use the products quite rough. And because they use the products rough, it can break.
Yes.
So if the product quality is not good and you sacrifice product quality for cheaper costs, it's going to break and you're going to end up with a lot of refunds.
Yes.
So in my first year of building my brand, we had more than $100,000 of refunds because we decided to maybe sacrifice product quality for a cheaper cost. So a piece of advice there will be don't sacrifice product cost. Quality for cheaper cost. Make sure that you try and get the best quality and do whatever you can to get the best quality. So
quality is the key. Once
so
you have
important.
The better quality and it supports your brands to grow. Once the customer receives the products with good quality, they will also help your brands to grow better and better.
Yes, because when a customer is happy, they will then recommend a friend.
Yes. So besides that, what is the biggest, like the operational challenge you have met?
Yep, absolutely. So for me, operations consist of, well, two big ones, supply chain and fulfillment. From a fulfillment standpoint, which is, a very, very big line item for brand owners, the biggest operational challenge that we had there was just bad customer service. So when a product, is being shipped and it gets lost, if you have bad customer service, you have angry customers because you can't figure out where the parcel is. You don't know if maybe it's stuck somewhere or if it's been sent to the wrong address or if someone stole it. But with better customer support from the logistics warehouse, you can very quickly identify what the problem is and then fix the problem. So for a long time, we were dealing with Australian-based fulfillment companies, 3PLs or whatever you want to call them, where customer support is almost non-existent because, people tend to work between 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock and then they clock off early or they mentally zone out. Whereas in China, I can message anyone from the team, even on a Saturday, maybe a Sunday, and I could probably get a response. So it's always good to have someone who can, reply to me when I've got a problem. Well, not to me, to the customer service team that we have.
Yes.
So yeah, that was a big problem that we've solved now. So yeah.
So this can be included as the after sales problem.
Yeah,
in
massive.
this part, in terms of that, the quick response and communication is quite key.
Yeah, very key. Especially when you are, growing past hundreds of orders a day. You've got a lot of customers emailing you potentially and wanting to work out where their order is. So having a good after sales team from both the brand standpoint and the fulfillment agent standpoint is so important because they need to collaborate to fix the problem or solve the problem.
Yes.
So yeah.
So just you have mentioned before you've faced so many refunds before,
Yes.
right? Yes, and because we know that so many, like we can say dropshippers or like DTC brands owners, they also faces the refunds which is held by maybe in Shopify or something.
Yeah.
And also, how do you keep the refunds rate so low now?
Yeah, very simple. Just good products.
Yeah.
So if you are a typical dropshipper or you are just selling a shit product, people will buy it, receive it, look at it, not be happy with it, and then request a refund.
Yes.
So product quality is number one. And number two, make sure whatever you are building your brand around actually solves a problem. If it doesn't solve a problem, no one is going to buy your product or need your product. And it's probably just a fugazi that you're trying to sell. So solve a problem, make sure the product quality is good, and you don't have to worry about refunds.
Right, solve problems and also the product quality is the key.
Exactly.
Yes, because as I can say that if you want to build a brand to better and better, and the customer services, their experience is quite important.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
if you want the customer have the better experience when they receiving the products, the quality is quite the key.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another very important thing to mention on product quality is, if you're someone who is producing your products overseas, go overseas and meet with your supplier. Because with meeting your supplier, you can build better relationships, meaning that you can get better components and materials and all that sort of stuff that make your product better. They're not just going to make it better because they feel like they should make it better. You as the brand owner actually need to put the effort into building the relationship and then collaborating with your supplier to make the product better.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, it will be better for the if you come to the factory to see the products in real, and you can know more deeply on how to develop the products more better.
Because you can see with your eyes and you can feel it with your fingers. You can work out
totally different.
Exactly.
When you see the pictures.
It's very easy to work out what can be improved when you're in person versus when you're just looking at your phone screen. Yeah. You've got no clue what has to be improved. So
yes, in real visiting matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Okay, so we just visit the Speedfulfill warehouse and offices. So as a brand owner, what stood out to you the most in terms of the operation process?
Okay, so For me, I would definitely say how well organized the factory was. Everything was categorized and, packaged and labeled, and it was just very organized and tidy, which is not something that I, maybe would have expected or have seen with other 3PLs that I have worked with in the past. So I was very happy to see this. Everyone looked happy, with the work they were doing. And it just was a very neat warehouse. So I was happy to see this because obviously it means that there's less likelihood of something breaking or, a fire starting, and then all of, the inventory gets lost. So it's very tidy, very organized, and I like that. So yeah.
Yes, we are always trying to targeting at the organized and structured the warehouse, so that everything can every steps in the warehouse, like in the inbounding and outbounding, it can be more smooth,
efficient. Yeah, I can see. So you're trying to remove all of the roadblocks and hurdles that you may run into. So
yes, it will also help to improve the efficiency.
Yeah.
Yes, and most important is it's easy to find which steps get wrong, and so that we can check the source. Yeah.
Absolutely, I can see that. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, great. And maybe in the future we'll also try to get more improvements in terms of that.
Yeah. Like Bruce was saying, you guys are working on new software and new conveyor belts to make things more efficient and faster. So I'm sure over the next 3 months when I come back, I'm going to see a lot of improvements, which is going to make everything a lot faster. So I'm excited to see that.
So let's see next 3 months what can be different. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll see.
You have been in e-commerce and built your brands for several years. And do you have any what's your first advice for e-commerce for people who want to start the e-commerce?
Yeah. Okay. So one, obviously build the brand around something that solves a problem. If you don't do it around something that solves a problem, it is difficult from a marketing standpoint to actually convey the message across as to why someone should shop with you or buy with you or become a customer. So number one is obviously solve a problem. Number two, focus on quality, product quality. So when you order the first sample from your chosen supplier, and you receive that sample, look at the product and see what can you improve, what can you make better. Is it a material, a component, a structural design, a color? What is it? You need to have some sort of a unique mechanism with your product. So figure out how you can make it better. Number three would be consistency and just perseverance. Like I said, if you order that product and you build the website and you do all the work to go and build the brand, but you don't get a sale in the first day or week, or ideally you should have a couple sales after the first month. But if you don't just give up altogether. You need to look at it very objectively, from almost like the standpoint or the lens of a customer. Why would a customer not be buying from me? And you've got to ask yourself, is it the product? Is it the marketing? Is it the website? Is it the offer? There's so much to consider. And only once you have completely identified that there's nothing wrong with any of those things, then you should consider pivoting onto maybe another brand idea or another brand product or something like this. So just don't give up too early, because too many people, in their first 6 months, realistically in your first six months, you're not going to be making any money. You're not putting any money in your own pocket. All the money is going back into the business, into better marketing, into better ads, into better products, into all this sort of stuff. So too many people give up too soon in the first 6 months. After the 6 months is where the brand is at a position to allow you to take some money from it. And then you can maybe start supplementing your wage with the money that you're earning from your brand. And then you can start focusing full-time on your brand. So yeah, just persevere, stay consistent. Don't expect it to happen overnight. Focus on good product and good customer service and all this stuff, and everything will work out. So That's my 2 cents.
Great, thank you. So if you want to start your brand now, and you can, you just don't give up so easily.
Exactly.
You stay committed. Yes, and don't worry about too many, I can say.
Exactly. Yeah, just focus every day on just fixing a problem in the business.
Yes, try to fix the problem, then grow the brand.
Move on to the next problem and grow the brand. Exactly.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the advice from our big boss, Peter.
Thank you.
So thanks for Peter's coming to share his journey in brands building and also some valuable advices for people who want to do e-commerce, who want to build their own brands. Okay, so let's see in the next 3 months what will be the biggest difference, and hope to see you in next after 3 months.
I'll be back in 3 months.
Thank you. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye bye.